What's up everybody, this is Cheese and Mr. Poof and I welcome you to yet another episode of Magic Monday. It has been on a little break, but I'm gonna be doing something I know everyone loves seeing. It's crack a pack, so we're gonna be cracking 3 packs of Shadows over Innistrad here. I have a tripod set up here and I'm gonna be cracking some packs for you, so without further ado, let's just dig into these little bad boys. So first we have Arlen Court Pack, so let's see what we get. The setup here is not the most elegant one, since I have to stand while doing this, but hey, I just want to crack you some packs and see what we get. Okay, so I'm going to be saying what my pick 1 would be if this was a draft pack. And let's see, Merciless Resolve, Apothecary Geist, Stormrunner Spirit. I like this guy actually, if you get to draft a vampire deck. Ethereal Guidance, I did not remember this being a card. Innistrad Neonate, this is an all-star if you try to run Menace, it's actually pretty good. We got Fork in the Road, Tormenting Voice, yeah this one is good. Draws your cards and enables madness. Loam Dryad, we saw this in the Pro Tour as well. Aberrant Researcher, it's a little callback to that Delver card everyone loves so much. It actually flips into, let me show you, the perfected form. And now, are we into the uncommons? But this is a flip card, so... But yeah, we are into the uncommons, so I'm going to be checking out the uncommons a bit closer than the commons. So let's see what we have. We have Call the Bloodline, 1 on a black enchantment, discard a card, put a 1/1 black vampire knight creature token with lifelink on the battlefield, and you can do it only once each turn. Seems okay. Oh yeah, I love this one. Compelling Deterrence, 1 a blue instant, you return a non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and if that player discards... then that player discards a card if you control a zombie. That was the wording there. I almost forgot. Okay, so... then we have one more uncommon. It's the Runaway Carriage. 4 mana for a 5/6 trample and attacks or blocks sacrificed at the end of combat. So yeah, you're not gonna get that body without some kind of a debuff. But anyway, let's check out our rare. It's the Altered Ego. X2 green and blue for a 0/0 shapeshifter. Altered Ego can't be countered. You may have Altered Ego enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it enters with X additional +1/+1 counters on it. We've seen these type of cards a lot, so not really anything cool. That's nice art on that island though. That's pretty nice. And a zombie token, so what would be my pick 1 in this pack? Well, the Stormkirk is okay. Neonate is pretty good, not first pickable probably if you don't get the Menace cards. That's card draw. This guy is a flyer on its own, and it can turn into an even bigger flyer, so he's pretty high on this list. 2 mana for an enchantment that enables madness and gets you tokens, that's high on the list. This is almost removal. High on the list. This is not high, and wouldn't put this high, so one of these. Okay, the camera is a bit funny because I have to stand, so there's no real good angle here, but anyway, my first pick here would be one of these, either Call the Bloodline or Aberrant Researcher, because of flying, and for the other card because it can keep on giving you things. You can discard your lands late game and you keep making dudes. And enable madness. It's a tough decision, but you know, for the sake that this will always give you things, gotta go with first pick being the Call the Bloodline here, because I actually think it's a pretty neat card and it has some flavor there. At Sorin's appeal, Olivia Voldaren summoned the full might of her bloodline. And let's get together at Lurinbound Fortress. Okay, so that was pack 1. I guess we'll just move on to the next one. Alright, Jace pack number 2. Let's crack a Jace. Actually, I bought a booster box. And I was like, don't have the energy to open up the whole box on camera with this shabby setup I have here. So it was not a good idea, but hey, I was like, I can crack 3 packs like this. Seems like a thing I can do. So we start off with this. Again, my first pick will be picked from this pack. And from what I'm seeing here, it's not going to be the Sanitarium skeleton. Or it could be. I mean, this guy in a Madness deck, you keep discarding him, you get him back, is okay. I've seen him work. And then we got a card. I'm just gonna stop when there's relevant stuff. Not really interesting. I like this guy though. It's a removal, and nothing really interesting there. Then we get a flip card, the Keswick Forge Master. Are we into the uncommons? We are into the uncommons, and with this thing, it deals 1 damage to that creature. So if it blocks or becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage, and when it flips, it becomes this creepy thing. That's actually pretty creepy. It's a 3/2. Deals 2 damage to a creature that blocks it. Or something is blocked. Stuff like that. Anyway, let's move on to the uncommons. We got Nahiri's Machinations. 1 and a white. Beginning of combat, on your turn, that creature you control gains indestructible. Actually, that's pretty good, and you can deal 1 damage to target blocking creature. Then we got Liliana's Indignation. Wow, we're getting all the flavorful uncommons here. It's an X and a black. Top X card loses 2 life for each creature card, so it's a thing. Tooth Collector, 3 mana for 3/2. It's solid stats, but it also gives a creature -1/-1 until end of turn when it enters the battlefield, which is actually a pretty good ability. This is pretty high on the list so far. And the rare, we have a Drog Skull Captain. That's 5 and double white for a 4/4 flyer. And whenever another spirit enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 2 life. And for 4 mana, you can put 1 spirit creature token with flying onto the battlefield. I mean, this guy's not so high on the list, but he does make you dudes. He heals you up. He's a flyer, but he costs a lot of mana. And we have a token and a card. So, what is our first pick from this pack? It's a hard decision to make here. But let's see. Sanitarium Skeleton so far is okay here. This guy's fine. Trample, 3/3. Another human gets +2, only in a human deck, really. That's actually a fine 2-drop. Well, if you don't have the creatures, that's not the best. This can backfire on you. Tooth Collector is actually a really good one. And this one is okay. So, what can I say? I really don't want to first pick this one. Leaving myself, I mean, it costs 2 white and it's pretty expensive. So I would either go for the 2-drop or the 3-drop that gives a creature -1/-1 until end of turn. And in this case, I mean, 2-drops are important for your curve, but this guy can just straight up remove a 2/1 or a 1/1, 3/1, you know, whatever like that, and you can drop this guy and you can do combat. But then they probably won't block. Anyway, my first pick for this pack would be the Tooth Collector. Again, not picking the rare. I mean, it is a bomb, kinda, but it doesn't have an immediate impact, so I wouldn't be too excited to pick it now. Just saying, I'm not a professional drafter or anything, or a professional player of Magic, but this is just how I view things and I draft. It might be terrible, but hey, it's the way I do things. Now let's get in with the pack number 3. The last Jace, ladies and gentlemen. The last Jace. Hopefully we get something juicy. I would take a Jace. I have no problems with the Jace. even though the new Jace is not particularly exciting, at least for me. But then again, they're going real careful with the Jaces now on, and you all know why. So we got Chaplan's Blessing, and all these other cards. Okay, Throttle. That's actually okay removal in Limited. So that's actually high on the list right now. For our first pick, I don't like counter spells that much in Limited. This guy has reach and he can block additional 7 creatures. That's pretty cool. I would put him to the top. Fiery Temper. I love that card. Solitary Hunter is solid stats, but wouldn't be first pick. Yeah, I wouldn't first pick that, probably. I probably wouldn't first pick this one either. Ooh, Rise from the Tides. This, if you can build around it, this can actually be a pretty bonkers card. So that was our... It was our second uncommon, and it goes high on the list. And then we got some fixing here. The Forsaken Sanctuary. And our rare is a blue rare, Forgotten Creation. 3 and a blue for a 3/3 with Skulk. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may discard all the cards in your hand if you do draw that many cards. Well, you may, so this guy is actually a pretty good pick. He can refill your hand if you're just drawing land, and you can draw. And we got a token land. So, what are the picks here? I mean, these are the things I picked that are good, in my opinion. Now, because I love the card Rise from the Tides a whole lot, I would maybe pick this, but I mean, you can't fight sheer value. 4 mana for a 3/3, and it has Skulk, which is pretty good. I think it's okay. And that ability can draw you some cards when you really need to draw the cards, and it can trigger your madness at the same time. So I think this, in this limited environment, this card is actually pretty good. And it would be my first pick for the pack. So, let's just lay it down here. And that has been the Magic Monday for today. I'm Cheesy Mr. Poof, and I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed my first picks here, and let me know in the comment section below what your first picks would be, because it would probably differ from mine. Everyone has a different mindset for drafting. Most of the pros probably have more similar ways of drafting. I'm not sure. I mean, it's pretty individual. Sometimes you just see stuff and it's like sheer value, and you gotta pick the sheer value. But anyway, that was the video for today. I'm Jason Mr. Poof, and I hope you had a wonderful time, because I sure did. I mean, we cracked some packs. We didn't crack anything insane, but that's not always the point. Sometimes you just wanna crack some packs and have some fun, and that's what Magic Monday is all about. And I guess I'll see you next week.